How's everybody doing tonight? Day 27. Honestly, we gotta get serious. This needs to be finished. The Wood Trick Dragon Castle either today or tomorrow. We kind of snuck up. I don't know how we ended up at day 27, but I mean, it's like tomorrow is going to be a full lunar cycle on one puzzle. We got to finish this thing. It's ridiculous. I feel like we're close, right? We're on page 49. I don't know how many pages there are. Let's look by the pieces. All right, we're on page 800. And it goes to 978. Honestly, that's a lot of pieces left. You're looking at almost 90 pages per day. Sorry, not pages, pieces. But the pieces were going quick yesterday. Like, you see these little things, like each one of those was counting as a piece. And same thing up here. I don't know if you can see way up there, but we got more pieces like that. So, I don't know. It's all one piece. We put it together yesterday. Oh, remember that dragon who was at the bottom of this cage? That is now completely hidden. I remember we were saying, like, you'll have to look at previous episodes because you can't even see it anymore. Inside of that cage is a dragon. And I was saying at the time, like, why are they hiding it? Well, now it's completely hidden. So, yesterday we were putting on these, like, railings and stuff. I don't know. I don't know where this is going lately, but we got to get into it. We cannot waste time. All right, page 49. What's up? 376. Two 376s and a 382. That's three pieces. So up to 804 pieces. And these pieces are going to go on top of these pieces? No, they're going to go up here. But that doesn't make sense. We didn't put anything there yet. Okay, so these green pieces also need to be added. It didn't say to do it on the previous board, did it? But, wow, will you look at that? We're just adding pieces without even mentioning it nowadays. Like, in both this picture and this picture, we need to add all of those green pieces. And I know what those pieces are because they were on the previous page too. They're 354s. And there's nothing saying on this page that they're 354s, but they are in green. And if you look closely at this 354 piece, it kind of looks like the Green Lantern's ring. I think it's the Green Lantern. I'm not really an expert. All right, so we're going to do all these. We're going to count all these pieces. We're going to do all these pieces. So it's also two 372s and two 371s. We're going to count all of those. We're basically going to count all of the pages, all of the pieces from this page at once because they're not counted out for us. So I don't want to lose track. We're just going to count them all at once, and then we're going to fill in all the spots. So the Green Lantern piece is 2, 4, 6. I lost track already. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, 12. So that brings us to 820. And then on the other side, how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 on that side. So 836. So yeah, the pieces are flying these days. Now I got to go find these pieces that I'm counting up. There's only two pieces here, two 262s. I guess let's put that board in the back until they ask for 262s. All right. There's ballistas on this. I'm just going to grab them and put them over here. But what are these? Are those accordion pieces? Anyway, a bunch of 284s are all that's 280s and 284s are all that's left on board 8. So that's again going to go in the back. I'm I'm like breaking my desk here doing this. All right. There's some fairly big size pieces. We're not using those yet. Wow, I'm just not finding anything here, huh? All right, we finally found some pieces. All right, so what are we looking for? Two 376s and a 382. 376, there's one of them. Where's 382? I mean, where's the second 380? Oh, okay, there's two 376s. All right, so then I'm back to the other question. Where's 382? I mean, come on. It's got to be here. It's just a straight piece, but I don't see it. Well, I'll look on another board. Let me grab these 376s while I'm here. These long, skinny pieces break easy. We broke one of them last night. I think I might have just broke one right now. Anyway, there's one of them. Also looking for those 354s. When we find them, there's going to be a million of them. All right. There's a flag. 336 is a flag. Where the hell is the 382? I guess it's on another board. I don't see it on this board. There's 382 right there. All right, there's one railing set. The other set is two 371s and two 372s. Let's see if we can find those pieces. They're all right in this corner. Two 372s, two 371s. So there's the other set. Now all that's left are the 354s. You know, I thought of something today. If you notice, I've been trying, instead of using someone else's talking points, though if anyone posts something in chat, I'll talk about it. I was talking about my own talking points, and I would like think of something through the day, and then I would decide I'm going to like talk about that. So I thought of something today. The only problem is I don't remember what I thought of. I should have wrote it down. If it comes to me, I'll talk about that thing. You know, one thing that came to me, I was deleting pictures from my phone, and I found an image that was actually the format. At one point, I wrote a format of this show. I don't think I've ever done an episode by the format, but I should start, you know, because a format's just like, I don't know. It doesn't really change anything other than it's just like calming to know what you're up to. But at the same time, it can kind of inhibit you and make you feel like you have to hit those points. So I wrote a format out, and I should do it a couple of times. You probably won't even notice that I'm doing it. It's like I'll be saying all kind of the same stuff, but I'll just in my head be following like an ordering. But I don't want it to be something stressful. I want it to be something that makes it easier. But anyway, I'll try it a couple of times, maybe refine it as I'm doing it. All right, now we need the 354 pieces. Are they here or not? Yeah, here's some of them, 354. Does anyone remember how many we needed? I'm just going to knock them all out. I'm just going to knock out every 354 that we see and then get to work. That's the plan. So there's a lot of pieces, though, still to do here. Just gonna bring it up here. Like, what are those? What are those? Like, this is probably not going to be finished tonight, which means I'm probably going to want to really finish it tomorrow. I don't want to go past, 28 days. I can't remember what I was planning. Oh, man, look at this. These are all 350. Oh, wrong camera. These are all 354s right here. There's like a whole bunch of 354s. We gotta knock them all out. I think I'm gonna spin it around, just because they're at this end of the board and I'm putting the pile at that end. So anyway, since I can't remember what I was going to talk about, I'm going to talk about another thing. So I said I'd bring up these things that my grandfather would say. And most of them I agree with. Like, one of them, he just straight up was repeating after Ben Franklin, but he said a penny saved is a penny earned. And that's really true. If you look at, like, government budgets these days, not even these days, like, I was taught this in school like 40 years ago, and I disagreed with it. And I'm going to start off from my grandfather's lessons with one that I disagree with. But anyway, you know, I remember hearing, 40 years ago, government budgets, they have to spend them all. They have to use all of the money that they request so they can request a bigger budget next year. Like, can you imagine? They don't try to save money. This should infuriate you as a taxpayer. I mean, the government doesn't actually do anything except that they're specifically trying to spend more money each year from each little segment of the government that's requesting the money, and it's getting approved because having a smaller budget the next year is considered bad. Can you imagine if a household functioned like that? I mean, it's insane. It's insanity. But the government functions like that. So anyway, a penny saved is a penny earned is one of the things that my grandfather said. Oh, so it looks like I went to that one somehow. Oh, that was supposed to be just an example. Okay, well, I'm not going to get to. Turns out that's a good one, so I guess I'm not going to get to the other one that I was thinking. I'll preview it by telling you what it was, but I'm not going to talk about it today unless I change my mind and start. And it was, if you can't beat them, join them. I feel like I'm going to end up talking about that. By the way, there's artwork on this piece that doesn't punch out. How crazy is that? Like, why is there ink there if it's not part of a piece? I don't know, but it is. All right, let's see if there's more 354s on this. So a penny saved is a penny earned. Meaning that you don't want to waste your money. And it's beyond just not wasting money, it's saving money. This is not like the sort of advice you hear these days, because everyone wants you to spend money. Like, when you read an article or watch a TV show, you might once in a while hear someone, talk about saving money, but, maybe it's in a movie where they also spend a ton of money. And it's like they're paying lip service to the idea of saving money, but they don't really endorse it. So, like, everything, every book you read, every song you hear, every movie you watch, they're all on the side of getting you to spend money. Because that's how the economy works. I mean, they talk about the GDP, right? They don't measure like, I guess they do measure with some other number like what you create, but really it's like what you spend. Like, how much the market will cater to you is based on how much you spend. Like, how crazy is that? Like, this whole concept of a penny saved is a penny earned, it's like not respected in our like modern economies. No one's trying to save money, even though that would make sense. I mean, it must, right? You know what they try to save? Like gold and oil, which tells you something. It tells you that they don't think the money is. It tells you that they don't think the money's worth anything. Like, they're trying to spend money. And maybe it's not worth anything. You know, money is, they refer to as currency. I mean, currency is like, isn't it also, there's water has a current and electricity has a current. That's a reference to something that flows. Does money flow? It does. That's how an economy works. It's like you've got to pay at the diner to eat your food. The diner has to pay to the distributor to get the ingredients. The distributor has to pay the farmer to grow the food, and in between there's like trucking, and there's like feed and hay bales and workers, and all this money goes like all around the economy. But none of it goes anywhere if you just save it. But who wants to be the person that spends the money? That's a lot of people will complain about how the programs work, and they'll say like, I'm working hard, and you're taxing me to death, and this other person is not doing anything, and you keep giving them money. Now, here's the crazy thing. They might be giving that person money because that person is a known imbecile. But he's a specific type of imbecile. He's a type of imbecile that will buy whatever is advertised on TV. So, like, if they gave money to you, what would you do with it? Like, put it in the bank and save it so that you can retire one day and hope to gain interest? I mean, that's nice, right? Sounds like a, reasonable thing to do. But the thing is, the people who are running the TV, buying the ads, creating the movies, supporting the politicians that go into government, that create the laws and all this stuff, they work for the companies. And they want the money in the hands of someone who's going to spend it right back to them. I mean, it's not a terrible thing. I mean, they're going to give you like shoes, cars, watches. I mean, they're going to give you stuff for that money. They're not doing anything bad, but that's how they think. Like, if you're just going to save the money, that's like a black hole. Like that's not doing anything for them. They're trying to sell like goods and services, and you're not buying any. I know it's crazy. It really does seem like something's wrong. It could get you mad when you first like think about it. And that's why people end up, what's the word? I want to say a word that doesn't sound like too much like a crime, because it's not a crime. But I can't think of words that describe it without sounding criminal. Like if I say, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, that sounds like an example of quid pro quo, or a recommendation of quid pro quo. But it also could mean like, you buy my corn and I'll buy your biscuits. Like this guy's going to grow corn, the other guy's going to buy it, and he's going to make biscuits out of it. Like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know what's the phrase that explains that. By the way, I'm having trouble getting this piece on. Like, even just the first... Am I putting it in the right place? Yeah, I think so. I can't get it on. Even like now it's on. Now all of a sudden it goes on. That's good. I complained that it went on. Yeah, so people are looking... I know that like someone says they want to be rich. And the economy is supposed to be able to make you rich. But at the same time, nobody wants to deal with someone that's a one-way. Like they deal with them and they don't get anything back. Like they want you to participate in the economy in a way that kind of rewards like everyone. Like everyone's getting something out of it. Like, yes, we're paying for you to, I don't know what do you like to do? Sell shoes. We're paying for you to sell shoes, and you're creating jobs for shoe salesmen, and you're providing shoes for people to get the right shoes for their job or their sports or their fashion. So you're providing a service. You're creating jobs. You're buying shoes from, whoever makes the shoes, which is helping some other town. They like that, but not everything is like that. I made that sound too easy. And I'm not prepared with the example that's not easy, or maybe it's, maybe that's why they have a number like GDP, because maybe the money goes somewhere. It always goes somewhere. So I don't know if there's an easy solution to that. Maybe it's something like, how when you try to save money, you put like your first 15% in the 401k. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe you just, pay yourself first and then you start spending money. But at the same time, it's kind of a responsibility to spend money. Like, I personally am not a huge fan of luxury items, but maybe I should be. Or maybe if I was a millionaire, I should be. Like, I think like when I see that someone wears a watch that costs like thousands of dollars, I think like, why would you not buy a car? But maybe they're rich. Maybe they already have a car. Like, I don't know. I shouldn't judge. But I think it's insane. And then you think about, well, what about all the homeless people? Shouldn't they be like housed and fed? Again, like, it's a great question. I don't really have all the answers. Maybe I'll learn them and repeat this podcast 10 years from now. It'll make more sense. Right now, we put this railing on. That's nice, right? This railing is now here. And the next one we're going to do is up top, which is going to involve these 4 pieces and I guess all of these pins. So a bunch of 354s all the way around the edge, and then these railings. So, who's, I think he talks a lot of nonsense, but he talks a lot. Are you familiar with this guy, Jordan Maxwell? I think I have to learn what he does. Not to make the same points as him, because I actually think that he's very dark and depressing to listen to, and plus he's like giving you a lot of ideas that aren't true and scaring you a lot with a lot of fears that aren't true. When he's giving you confidence, he's getting you in trouble. When he's making you fearful, he's inhibiting you. I just think he's like, in terms of like taking advice, he's the absolute worst person to listen to. But what he does that's good is everything he brings up, he knows like 20 things he can say next. He's almost like a stand-up comedian, except he's depressing. Like, he has lines prepared for everything, every topic that he's going to discuss. So I think, like, I'm talking about this economics right now, and I don't have examples ready. I could probably think of some, but I'm like also putting this puzzle together at the same time. All right, let's think of one example. Let's try to think of one example of spending money into the economy that's not good. And I mean not good economically. Because you could say, like, hiring a hitman is not good. Yeah, I mean, that's not good. That's illegal. That's immoral. That's horrible. Like, yes, that's not good. You wouldn't be incorrect if you said that that's not good. But I want to say, like, economically. What about when we send money overseas? Is that good or bad? That's actually a hot topic these days, particularly with the war in Ukraine. There's a lot of money being sent to Ukraine these days, like in the billions of dollars. But it's not just Ukraine. There's a lot of countries that we send aid to. And people say like you could house, like you could have bought a house for every homeless person in America with the money that was sent to Zelensky. I'm not saying that that's true, but people will say like something like that, like some type of analogy like that. And when you hear that, you think, "Oh man, why are we sending money to Ukraine? That sounds insane, right?" And I'm not, and I've got a thought. I don't know if this thought is true, so feel free to comment and correct me. But one of the thoughts that I've had is, it's kind of like, how they would tell you that a drug dealer, like, be careful of a drug dealer because they're going to offer you the first drug for free and they're going to try to get you hooked on it. I sometimes wonder if that's what the United States is doing when they give out money. Because we give a lot of money to a lot of people. And one thought is, well, the U.S. is generous. I mean, obviously it's not that. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, yes, we might pretend as good as anybody else, but obviously if you're doing something, you have some sort of self-interest. I mean, let's not even talk about trying to do good, because we know that's not the answer. So one simple example is that, one simple thought that a lot of people have is that they're trying to control those other governments or those other people, or they're trying to buy goodwill. And I suppose that to an extent some of that's true. But I want to go back to that drug dealer example where the drug dealer gives you the free hit, whatever it's called, the first time. Before I do that, though, I have to take a quick look at these instructions. I'm just not sure. I don't know if it matters which order I put them on. All right, so it looks like one of the long pieces goes in this corner, like this, and then from that, the pieces just alternate. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So the drug dealer. Why does the drug dealer give away the free hit to get the person addicted? Why does the U.S. give away money? Can it be to get the other countries addicted to U.S. money? And what would that mean? That would mean they start spending U.S. money, and then they want more U.S. money because, the person does drugs and it feels good and they want more. So the person spends U.S. dollars and it feels good and they want more. Well, now they're asking other people to pay them in U.S. dollars. And this is great for the U.S. because this is our money. Unless you're going to have a money that is redeemable for a commodity, then your money is fiat. And if your money is fiat, then it's only worth what people pay you for it. So there was a time when the U.S. money was gold-backed. Meaning that, no, not even gold-backed. It was representative of gold. Meaning, like, if you bought cars from Germany or whatever, and you sent them U.S. dollars, then Germany would, send those U.S. dollars to the U.S. Treasury and say, may I please have them in gold? Can you imagine? So you print off some banknotes and someone's going to get gold for that? So Nixon, got the U.S. off the gold standard. He's like, we're not sending anybody any gold. So now, then it was, you couldn't redeem the notes for gold, but I think for a while they still would tell you what it's worth in gold, which is like what some countries are trying to do now. And I actually don't buy it. Like, I think the BRICS are trying to say they're going to make a currency and it's going to be pegged to gold. And my answer to that is, if you're not selling gold, your currency is not gold backed. I mean, what is this bullshit? It's pegged to gold. I mean, I can say that, I guess they mean like they're not going to print it unless they have a certain amount. Well, then you're just talking about fractional reserve banking, which has already been proven to not be, there's people who declare bankruptcy, there's quantitative easing, there's all sorts of chicanery that goes on. Basically, it's not going to be anything. The money's never going to be worth anything unless you actually give out the gold. You can't just say it's pegged to gold. I mean, that's bullshit. If you're not selling gold, your currency is not gold backed. It's sorry. I know you might have some spreadsheet and you might have some strict laws and you might say it's gold back, but it's not. If you can't redeem it for gold, it's not really backed by gold. So what is it backed by? It's not backed by anything, but neither is anyone else's currency. But the fact that the U.S. can get people to accept their money and use their money and spend their money internationally, you've now created a market for U.S. dollars. Now, I'm not arguing that we should send all our money overseas to people for free. I'm just saying that we are getting something for it, and that something is a faith in the U.S. dollar, which should not be discounted. I mean, that's a valuable thing. All right, so we're moving to page 50 now, and it's going to use some interesting pieces here, just this first segment. It's 280 through 283. They kind of go in a clockwise direction with 2 314s in the middle. I'm not going to look forward at this point. I'm just going to count those 6 pieces. So now we're up to 842 pieces, and I'll start looking for those pieces. So this was all to say a penny saved is a penny earned. Because that is true within your household. But then I branched off to all these other topics, and they were sort of giving you like the other half of the story, that it's like not really that easy. It doesn't really work that way. But that does kind of lead into that next thing that my grandfather said, which is, if you can't beat them, join them. And I have a lot of like problems with that statement. It's like, of the things he said, it's like the least that I rely on. And I don't make decisions based on that, because, my sort of feeling is not on my watch. So like, I'll never admit defeat. I would never get to the point where I would join that person that I can't defeat, because I'm just going to prolong it till I'm no longer here. And it's going to be, not on my watch situation. There's nobody. All right, here's the 280, 81, 82, 83. I'm going to place them in the same order they are in the instructions to kind of keep track of them. Keep track of which one is which. Yeah, so my personal finances, a penny saved is a penny earned. But if you were running a country, the treasury of that country, not the treasury, that's not quite the word. I think it's more like the mint. Anyway, if you were in charge of the economy of a country, the penny saved, penny earned is only going to work if you're saving oil or gold or something that somebody needs. And this is a big thing going on right now. The internet has made everyone smarter. So a couple of nights ago, we were talking about human trafficking, which is like the worst crime in the world. But at the same time, okay, not a but. I just want to say somewhat where that comes from. Oh, by the way, this idea of keeping it counterclockwise. So putting the pieces in clockwise makes sense, but maintaining the 280 in the lower left, that means nothing because this thing can spin around. But the point is, it's just so I can remember which piece is which and keep them clockwise. So I think a lot of, it started with, we're told, gangs. But do you think those gangs are independent? Like, do you think the Mexican government couldn't stop the gangs? Do you think the U.S. intelligence agencies really don't know anything about the gangs, or that they couldn't stop the gangs? Basically, there's a huge problem going on globally right now with human trafficking. And a lot of that could be due to people realizing that there's only so many assets they have or can get their hands on that have value. So most people can't get their hands on much oil or gold. There's countries that don't respect intellectual property. Like, some people will say, like, well, my country has a genius. We have like the next Thomas Edison, and he's inventing all this crap. Yes, who's going to enforce China paying for that crap that he's inventing? I don't want to accuse China specifically. Let's just say, how do we know anyone is like paying for the intellectual property? And the reason I mention China is a lot of manufacturing goes on there. So the manufacturers are the ones who are supposed to be paying for those patents because they're the ones producing and selling the goods, but they may not be. So that was, so you can have people, smart people, work for you, but that's not a guarantee that you're going to get paid for that work. So what human trafficking is it's kind of like, and I explained this the other day, it's kind of like farming. They're looking at humans like products. And it's horrible. It's terrible. It makes you think that it's time for God to do something, like you can't stand by while that happens. Like, there's an idea of like the wheat and the chaff, and God will let the weeds grow with the good fruit because he'll separate them at harvest. But I think human trafficking is beyond that. It's at the point that something needs to be done. That we're not separating wheat and chaff here. There's people being tortured like human beings. They're having their chance to live a life like stolen from them because someone else wants a commodity that they could turn a profit off of. And it's like too difficult to do farming. And they don't have the rights to collect oil, and they don't have the money or resources or leverage to get gold away from people. All right, I feel like we're going to go past 28 days if I don't make progress on the puzzle. So let me mention that we're picking up 6 more pieces. 4 360s, and then 307 and 318. 307 needs to be sand and waxed, so we're going from 842 to 848. I think we still have a way to go. 848, we still have more than 100 pieces to go. But we are kind of going quicker than usual. So these middle pieces, they're not these. Those are 363, but the 318 is here. And there's apparently multiple 307s. And one of them is here. So let's grab a 307. And then we need 4 360s. Where are those? This board, maybe? I see 364. 376. They look a lot of spare pieces here. 371, 372. There's a lot of those pieces we've seen before. All right, there's the 360s. A pretty good sized piece, actually. Sorry, you weren't seeing anything I was doing. There's the four 360s right here. And the other pieces I found, they're right there. But at the point that I found them, we were looking at the instruction manual. All right, 2 more 360s, and then we do the sanding and waxing. So yeah, money. Does anyone have a better way than money? Should we just give everything away? Well, you can't do that because that becomes communism. Like, money's a good motivator. But how do we stop it from motivating people so much that they create human farms? How do we stop it from motivating people so much that they initiate wars? I mean, it's a good, like, positive thing, but it can get out of control. You know, the makers and the takers, and, you know, how do we get it so that people create but don't destroy? I don't know the answer. I'm bringing it up, but again, I don't have all the answers right now. But, you know, maybe I'll learn the answers. You know, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to talk every night, maybe I'm eventually going to learn the answers. Maybe people are going to tell me the answers, and I'm just going to repeat them. All right. When installing this 360, if you look at the bottom of the piece, there's like a triangle cut out, and there's a tab. And then there's 4 of these squares at the bottom. So we're going to follow this rule that we've been using this whole puzzle long, which is the lines on the receiver and the lines on the slot and the lines on the tab. We're going to keep them parallel. Oh, I forgot this isn't zoomed in anymore. Let me zoom that in. All right, so now you can see the lines, right? So we got the lines on the tab and the lines on the receiver. We get them going the same way. And we put the cutout towards the outside of the circle. That's it. And then we got to do that 4 times. All right. So let's do the other 3 the same way. And just to show you, these go different directions. But we don't care about their directions in terms of the circle. We care about their directions in terms of connecting these pieces. That's what's going to work out for us. So 2 are in, 2 to go. Let's get these last 2 in. Okay. It's actually going in pretty easy, but maybe the top part's not going to be so easy. The bottom part's pretty easy. All right. Let's see how the top goes. So the top, it's like tricky already. I got to zoom in here and study this. All right, so it's the inner tabs and the middle. Okay. So the tabs are all in the middle here, the center, and then they're going to go to the middle layer of this. So there's 2 holes in the center, 2 squares in the center, and there's like, what is that, 7 of them on the edge, but we're going to the 4 in the middle, and it's again this system with the lines, but at this point we don't have much control over that because we're trying to make these 4 connections at once, and whatever way they fit in, that's the correct way. Each one of these squares has a cutout that lines up with it. So that's 4. And then there's cutouts in the middle. So I guess it's actually 8, right? I said 7 before, but yeah, it's actually 8. So it's like a plus and an X. So the square in the, middle here is going to go onto this tab, and then the square lined up with it is going to go around this this piece. So I think we can just start by lining those 4 outer pieces up into those cutouts, and then we can work on lining up. Yeah. So we've now got the 4 in. Now we should be able to line up from the inside. Not going to be easy, but that's what we got to do. All right, let's get one of them on started. And then, yeah, let's get all 4 started, and then we'll push them all on at once. I got 2 started. Man, I just pulled one out. It's like wasn't moving, and then it moved all at once, like too much. All right, I think I pulled some out. It's like I started all 4 of them, but some got pulled out. I gotta do them again. Now they're falling out of the bottom. Wow. Not sure how that happened, but I'll fix it. If you hold on a second, I'm just going to change the lighting here. I'll be back in a second. All right. Oh my goodness, that is way darker than I expected it to be. All right, let's try it again. All right. I think it's not going to look... It's going to look a little different. But hopefully you'll still be able to see it. Let's see how the close-up looks. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, so this is how things are going to look for the rest of this episode. It's kind of like mood lighting. Let me try starting. Yeah. Is that better or worse? All right, let's try that one. That's pretty good. All right, this is how the lighting is going to be. It's a little different, but we can still see. All right, so now we have to combine these 2 pieces that we built, and we're going to combine them like vertically. It's going to be, I guess this is going to be the tallest part of the castle. Where's it going to go? It's not going to go here because there's like something there. Oh, that's not even on camera. Wow. It's not on any camera here. It can't go there. I think I'm going to have to pull that close camera back again to get to the high height. Anyway, for now we got to hook these pieces together. I'm not even sure how to do that. Okay. All right, I got it. So these pieces up here at the top, they're going to go into those slots. They're like double-sized slots at the bottom there. That's where they go. Looks easy. I can tell you, as I'm doing it, it's not that easy because these pieces are connected way at the bottom, and they're long, and you're like holding them from inches away, like several inches away. Just not as easy as it looks. Looks super easy. Not actually easy. Wow. Well, I think I got 3 of the 4 in. But I popped them all out trying to get the 4th one. See what I mean? Not easy. Okay. Let's try again. Keeping pressure on it this time so that I don't give back. whatever we get. Failed again. All right. Clearly I'm doing something wrong. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to balance it on the floor there. Right. This will work because now I can grab it. Now I have two hands free. I don't have to hold the piece that I'm connecting it to. I can use both hands to try to get these in. Got it. Oh, does it slide all the way up? I got to see what this looks like when it's built. Yeah, it does. We got to slide all the way up, all the way in. That's the plan. That's actually the next instruction. And you can see it there. So you start it. You slide it all the way in. There's a strange pattern on this. Like, when do we do this stuff? I don't know. Anyway, this is what's next. So we got to make it look like that. And I think we're just going to slide it all the way up. And then maybe it's even going to grab something when it gets to the top. I don't think so, actually. But we are going to slide it all the way up. There we go. All the way up. Now this looks like it could connect somewhere. It has a circle in the middle. And there's a circle up here, but there's no pins there. So that's not where it goes. All right, so I'm just going to leave it here for a second, and we're just going to see what's next. What's next is 324 times 4, and these are just window dressing pieces. So that brings us up to 852 pieces. And the piece we're looking for is 324. We need 4 of them. 324. I see 332, 227. I don't see that piece. I see 323. 323 is right here. But that's not 324. All right, 324. Where are you hiding? 329. Are you sure it's not 329? Because it looks just like 329. Look at this 329. Doesn't that look like what we need? Sort of. It's a little bit different. We need 320. There it is, 324. 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't see the fourth one yet, but it's got to be here somewhere. So let's get these 4 324s out. All right. 1. It's a pretty big piece, actually. 2. For a window dressing piece. 3. And the last one. 4. All right. These should be real quick. Nothing complicated. We're just slapping them on. They're just window dressing. There's actually 4 connections to line up, but it's 4. 3 of the connections are in one board, and the other ones should already be lined up. And even if not, it's a edge cutout that you just slide in, so this should be very easy. All right, 2 of the 4 are already in. It's making a nice sound going in. It should stay in. Yep, there you go. Last one. It's got splinters on it. Okay. All right, let's get the last one on there. What's stopping me? Oh, okay. The top wasn't lined up. Well, there you go. Window dressing on. More. Oh, this is beyond window dressing. This is a dragon. All right, how do we build this dragon? 378, 367, 369, 370, 368, 366, 377. All right, it's going to be important to keep these pieces in order. So that's going to kind of take a second. I did see those pieces, though. All right, how many are there? 2 wings, 3 body, 2 pins. That's 6 pieces total. So we're going from 852 to 858. Maybe we'll get within 100 tonight. Seems like the going is pretty good tonight. It's like pretty easy pieces to work with. All right, so the dragon. Let's keep these in order. 378 is the first piece. Very important that we keep them in order. And then 367. I see 368, 69. What? Oh, there's 67. Okay, 367. The dragon is actually a tricky piece. It's a lot of cutouts. You got to be careful getting this piece out. And there's 3 segments to the dragon's body. 369, the middle one, the uninked one. That's probably the easiest. By the way, 369 again. Tesla's favorite number. All right, 369, and then 368, and 377, and then there's also 2 pins. 370 and 366, but let me get the major pieces. So there's 3 body sections of the dragon, 2 are inked, and then the middle is not. And then there's, so right now we've got everything laid out here, except the 2 pins, which are 370, the small one, 366, the big one. I think the small one holds the dragon together, and then the big one holds the wings onto the dragon. All right, let's do this. And then the whole dragon goes on top of the castle. All right, so this section on the dragon's back, that's where the small pin goes. I'm not sure what direction it goes in. Wow, the ink is on the wrong side. Okay, I just have to turn the dragon around. Now the ink will be on the right side. All right, so I had to turn the middle piece so that it's facing me. All right, so now we got the dragon in. This piece is not going in. Let me put it in here first. Okay. So remember that rule about the parallel lines? Let's keep that rule. Yep, that's good. And then this middle piece should just slide right on. And then the second inked piece. Is this meant to be a living dragon or ornamentation? The way it's sitting on the roof makes it, and it has its wings out, makes it seem like it's a living dragon. But maybe it's like a gargoyle architectural type of feature. All right, the bigger pin 370 goes all the way through the dragon, and then it catches on the wings. I think I'm going to put it on one of the wings first. Did I not pop out the 377 wing? Yeah, it's still on the board. I don't know how I missed that. Just checking the chat to see if anyone caught that. My guess is nobody was watching, or someone would have caught that. All right, so 377. Okay, this. Pay attention to this one. You might think this looks upside down, but this is how it goes. Like that. And that's going to apparently attach to this dragon. Okay. Wow. cool. All right, let's get the wing on. So there's the wing on one side. Let's get the wing on the other side. Do I have this zoomed in? I do. So at some point when I put them on the roof, I'll probably turn that camera from a close-up camera to an overhead shot. But for now, it's still a close-up camera. There we go. There's our winged dragon. Now, where does he go? Just on top of this tower, right? That's it? Okay. Is there like a particular way that he goes on? He's just 2 pins. Like, I think it looks the same from every... Oh, no, there's a door. One of these has a door. All right, so where's the dragon in relation to the door? I don't know. Because when you zoom in on this, you don't see the door. Oh, no, you do see the door. There's the... I can't tell. I think that's the door. So I think the door goes under his left armpit, which means he should fit like this on top. There's the door. There's the left armpit. All right. The lines are again parallel, so that's good. Our parallel line rule has been consistent. I wonder if it said that on like the first page of this instructions, and I don't remember. It's a good rule. So there we go. The dragon is on the tower. The tower's not in place yet, but the dragon's on it. So we're up to page, what, 350? No, we're up to page 51. I would like to keep going. I feel refreshed. But let me see. Let me see how many pages are left. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'd have to do 3 pages tomorrow to finish this. I think we can do it. But I think we should finish this tower first. Or did we finish this tower already? Okay, we finished it. The next tower, there's a next tower. And then we attach both towers. And then we build another dragon. And then we build another tower. They never show the ballistas being built. But in the final section, they show the ballistas attached. Did I miss something here? Flag, tower, tower. Oh, those are the ballistas. When I said install other dragons, they actually were ballistas. They were so tiny. All right, so tomorrow's going to be very fun. Don't miss that. It's probably going to go 90 minutes to 2 hours. We're going to do the final 3 pages tomorrow. I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night and see you tomorrow.